We are mindful of the fact that missionary education came at a very low cost. But it came at that low cost not because the costs were low, but because they were being subsidized by the missionary bodies outside this country at that time. A university is a universal institution. It has universal standards. That's the reason why when you produce a graduate here, he should be employable anywhere in the world. That's the reason why I, for example, as a professor of theology, based at Lagos State University, where I have worked for 34 years, I traveled to England on 3 occasions to preside over PhD defense of students in the University of Birmingham and others. Because once you are a product of one's university, you are a product available to serve all. If you are going to maintain standards, you must also comply with the rules of the NUC. NUC says you must have PhD before you are a lecturer. You must have X number of lecturers for a department to subsist. So the cost of running the university is very much. We are not owing salaries, not even for 1 month. How are we able to do this? Frugal management of the resources. We would have been comfortable if we had enough students. Our carrying capacity should be about 6,000 now. But total population for now is just 1,729, which simply means we don't have enough students. The Anglicans themselves are not bringing their children here. You find their children in other universities. For one reason or the other, we're encouraging them to change. If we are 18 million Anglicans in Nigeria, we should be able to fill the quota of 1,600 every year. But that is not the case. We don't believe in what we have. It is the outsiders who believe more and patronize what we have. It's a psychological problem we need to treat in the Anglican Church. And that's the reason why you have many Anglicans who are very well endowed. Rather than give money to support projects in their university or in their own churches, they rather donate to the churches that are non-Anglicans. And you wonder, where did they get the money? They don't believe much in giving that seed sowing in their institution. But we are encouraging that it will change. I will give you an idea, then I will make a factual statement which is very unfortunate. Let me say the factual statement first. This university does not receive regular subvention from any diocese or church in the Church of Nigeria. The Church of Nigeria does not contribute a kobo to the running of this university. The Supra-Diocesan Board West that owns this university passed a resolution that every last Sunday in May, like St. Matthias Fund, the churches in the Supra West will take a general offering for Asaju'S University. The offering came to this university directly first, just last year, stroke this year, and the total amount of money cannot even pay 1 month's salary. So if all you give is 1 day collection in 1 year, you can't run a university that way. It cannot even pay 1 month's salary. So we take it that we don't have any regular subvention. Where I come from in Lagos State University, that university receives from Lagos State government 462 million naira every month. 462 million naira every month. The administration will go to sleep because salaries are being paid. But we have a situation where we are not able to receive any financial help from any diocese, from any church, and we have to run. The running cost in Asaju'S University in 1 month is as follows. This month alone, the salary, net salary is about 43 million. By the time you add the pensions that we have to remit, the tax we have to remit, the gross salary will be about 50, it's more than 50 million. If I have 50 million naira, I must pay on salaries every month. You have not spoken about the cost of diesel. Diesel and NEPA cost me about 5 million naira every month. NEPA bill. That's 55 million. The medical, the running costs. So averagely, I need minimum of 60 million naira to run this university every month. And I don't have a kobo coming from any church, from anywhere, from any donor, nothing whatsoever. And salaries have to be paid. Then you can understand that the fees have to be charged. So the Anglicans should please understand that if you want to run a university of quality, this free mentality should be jettisoned. And I want to say as a rider, these same people will go and pay double the amount of money at Afe Babalola University, at Covenant University, at Babcock University with joy. They will subject their children to rules of the denomination of those universities' proprietors, yet they will comply. But when it comes to Anglican Church, then they begin to pontificate ideas why they should not be made to pay. If you have cheap education, you can have quality education. These same people, many of them run privately owned primary schools and nursery schools. We know how much they charge per term, and they pay for their own students. Why don't they take their children to the publicly owned schools, which used to be good in those days, but today we know what they are? But if you have primary schools where they charge millions, at least in a year, and we are talking about Ajayi University, where the fee is averagely about 450,000 in a year, broken into 3 installments, with the inflationary rate and the devaluation of the naira, I think our members should show their commitment by respecting the regime of fees, instead of arguing that they contributed to the university, yet they are not, their children cannot come here. I think their children can come here. They can come here comfortably.